I am very, very familiar with how easy it is to give up. I understand how easy it is to eat on all of those foods that give you it gives you an instant chemical boost because of the sugar, because of the extra sodium. You might also have stories around the food. Certain foods give you an emotional connection, maybe to a better time in your life in the past. So there's a lot going on with this. There's a lot going on. But if you don't fight for your right to look your best, if you don't fight for your right to be free of the emotional eating, be free of the binge eating, be free of this constant struggle, then how are you ever going to resolve this issue for good? How will you ever get to the place where you can just be normal with food? Do you know what I mean? Don't you deserve to look your best and feel your best? And how can you feel your best and look your best if you're constantly battling with unhealthy eating habits, old stories, unhealthy emotional connections to food? How can you do all this? So you got to fight. You got to fight really for you. You have to fight for you and your commitment to yourself and your best life in your best body. Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. This is episode number 613. The topic? Why you should fight for your right to lose weight for good. Hello, welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. Unless this is your very first time listening in, then welcome this first time. If this is your first time tuning in and you have no idea who I am, where I'm coming from, what's going on, then just for a very brief introduction, my name is JoLynn Braley. Since 2007, I have inspired millions around the world to get fit, get healthy, and get motivated to lose weight. In 2009, I began professionally coaching smart, successful women to struggle-free weight loss in 8 weeks or less. I've also coached a few cool men to the same goal. My specialty is the mindset. I'm a certified master NLP practitioner. I'm a certified master consciousness shifting coach. I also have several other certifications. I'm even a certified nutrition coach, but I focus on the mindset with my coaching clients who I work with directly over the phone. And the reason that I focus on the mindset is because what's between your own two ears is 92.8% of what is going to determine your success with getting that weight off and keeping it off. You see, if you're not thinking right about yourself, about your ability to lose weight, about your ability to change, if you don't believe that you're worth the time and the effort, if you don't have your head in the right place, then how will you ever see yourself through the entire journey? Because, let's face it, you can't lose weight in a day. You can't lose weight in a weekend. Well, you can lose, like a quarter of a pound, but you're not going to drop 50 pounds or even 20 pounds in just a couple weeks. It takes a lot of time to go through the entire process to get that weight off, to get all the way to your goal weight. And then guess what? The process isn't over. The journey is not over. The journey does not end once you get to your goal weight. And this is a huge problem. In fact, I did a podcast about this before if you'd like to listen to it. It's called The Danger Zone, that nobody else is talking about. That is episode number 167 of the JoLynn Braley Show. The easiest way to find that is to go to fearlessfatloss.com/blog, and in the search box, type in 167. And in that episode, I talked about the weight loss danger zone that no one else is talking about. And what that danger zone is once you do reach your goal weight, if you are able to get all the way there, if you're able to stick with it and see it through all the way, the danger zone is once you see your goal weight on the scale, because you know what most do, and this is especially if you don't have the right mindset for it. What most do is at that point, they have a celebration and throw their hands in the air and yell, "Woo! I made it. I made it to my goal weight. I got here. Now, what are we going to do? Let's celebrate. Yeah, let's go to Wendy's. Let's go to McDonald's. Let's go get some ice cream. Let's go whatever, like it's like an immediate blowback, an immediate throwback to your old ways. And you will never be able to maintain the weight loss like that. It will be a constant yo-yoing. So this is why I focus on the mindset, because if you take the journey within your inner self, if you take that most important journey and you change your mind to change your body, and this is the work that I do with my awesome coaching clients, if you do that, then not only will you be able to get all the way to your goal weight, but if you continue to feed your mind daily and keep your head in the right place, feed your mind before you feed your body. Feed your mind with the right stuff. I mean, you're already feeding your mind. You're either feeding your mind consciously or unconsciously all the time. And most aren't doing it consciously, and it leads to a lot of problems, because the shortest story version of this is you get your head in the right place, and then it's no big deal to lose weight. It's no longer a struggle, okay? If you get your head in the right place, not only will you be able to get all the way to your goal weight, but then if you continue to feed your mind before you feed your mouth each day, then you'll be able to keep that weight off. There is a universal law that all of us live under. There are several universal laws that all of us live under, but one of them is the inner and the outer always match. So what does that have to do with weight loss? Well, if you don't change your mind and you only focus on changing the outside, which is your body, the inner and the outer always match. So what are the thoughts that you've been thinking and the beliefs that you've been believing and the emotions that you've been feeling in order to gain so much weight, in order to reach for the food instead of doing something else? If you don't change that, the inner and the outer always match. So you can force yourself to lose some weight on the outside, but then the inner and the outer always match. So if your head stays fat, your body has to match. You can only force yourself to lose so much weight on the outside before you boomerang back. All right? Mindset is 92.8% of the challenge. Hey, I have a free ebook that you can get. Start learning a little bit more. Learn 3 simple steps that your mama never taught you about losing weight from the inside out, which is what I'm talking about here. Get it at easyfunweightloss.com/ebook. easyfunweightloss.com/ebook. www.easyfunweightloss.com/ebook. It's free to download. You can get it right now. Okay, so this topic today of fighting for your right to lose weight for good. Here's something interesting I have to tell you right away. There is no fight if you have the right mindset. But I'm going to assume that you don't have the right mindset, because if you had the right mindset, then you wouldn't need to listen to my podcast, because you wouldn't be struggling to lose weight. All right? So not having the right mindset, not having done the inner work to get the right mindset, then you have to fight. You have to fight. You have to fight not only daily, but fight every meal probably, and every urge that you have to stray. Because I tell you what, it is too easy to eat And I don't mean eat healthy food because obviously we all have to eat, but it's a difference of what you're choosing to eat, what the decisions are that you're making to eat what, you know? I mean, it's easier to go eat the comfort foods, the junk food, all of the food that leads you away from your ideal weight. It's easier to do that than it is to fight. I'm talking to you right now in my home office recording studio to record this free weight loss podcast episode for you, which I started doing back in 2013. So I've been at this podcast, the JoLynn Braley Show, for a few years now. And you know how easy it would be for me to pause this recording that I'm making, get in the car, head to the grocery store, and hit the frozen food aisle or the bakery section. Or, hey, I don't even have to pause this podcast recording, do I? I mean, I could pause it for a minute to make an order on my phone and have somebody bring food to me. Couldn't I just easily pause this recording, look on my phone? There's DoorDash, Uber Eats. And the reason that it might sound like I'm talking my way through this is because I don't use those apps. I don't order that food. In fact, I have never gotten an order from any of those apps. Never. So I know that you can do it, though. I know that they're on, you could download it on your phone. And how easy would that be? It'd be super simple. The app is free, right? I could order McDonald's right now. I could order anything. That is so easy to do. But what is hard to do is to do the right thing for yourself. And what is the right thing? Do you have family? Do you want to live a longer life? Do you want to have a healthier life? Do you want to have more energy? Do you have a business? Do you have important work to do? Do you have an important message to get out to the world? Do you have people to help? How can you do any of these things? Do you have kids? All right? How can you be there for anybody, family, whoever, whatever your mission is in this life? How can you do it if you don't have the energy, if you don't have the fitness, if you don't even feel good in your own skin, And I understand there's like a storyline going on nowadays that you're supposed to, be happy about being obese. I mean, come on, let's get real. Nobody is happy being obese. That's just a way to try, some people are trying to soothe themselves because they have too big of a struggle. They don't know how to get out of that place they're in with their compulsive overeating. And I understand it because I've totally been there myself. I mean, I've never been, 200 or, I've never been massively obese. I can't say that I have been there. But, the more weight you gain, the more hopeless it can seem that you can get back to a normal weight because it's going to take so long to do it. The whole trick is it's going to take so long to do it. And then for some people, they are trying to find an easier way to deal with this problem. And they're telling themselves that, everybody else should accept me the way that I am. And they're giving up. But the truth is nobody wants to be overweight or obese because it doesn't feel good. And it's such a harder life to live. It's so much more difficult. But the further that you get away from your normal weight, like let's say that you used to be 130 and that's a normal weight for you. And let's say that now you're, let's just say an example. Let's say that you're 240 pounds. Okay. That's a long trek to get back to a normal weight. And it can be really disheartening. It can be really depressing. It can feel really hopeless. But the whole key is you got to change how you think about it. You have to change your mindset about it so that you can get into action mode where you can start with getting off 1 pound and then get off another pound. And then whatever you did to get off those 2 pounds, you keep repeating that until you get back to your normal weight. And it's going to take time. It'll take a long time, but you have to fight for this. And it will be it'll be the most difficult fight of your life if you don't have the right mindset for it. But I'm here to encourage you to fight for it, because otherwise, what are you going to do? Are you willing to just give up? I hope not. And actually, I know you're not willing to give up because you're still listening to my voice right now. Anybody who didn't even have the patience to listen to a few minutes of this free weight loss podcast and get to this point in the podcast, how will they ever lose weight? How will they ever do it? The internet and smartphones have created a lie for the masses of, the world, really. Anybody who has a smartphone, anyone who has an internet connection, it has created a lie that you can have whatever you want instantly, because there are some things that you can find instantly. You can find instant information. You can find an instant emotional boost by, for example, let's say that you post a post of a cute kitten on Facebook and a bunch of people give the thumbs up to it, and then that makes you feel good. Okay? You can get these instant hits on the internet, but that doesn't mean that you can get instant results in your life with things that you can't get instant results in. And this is a huge reason for why so many people are giving up now on their weight, and why so many more are just gaining more and more and more weight. Are you following me? You have to fight through this. You have to fight through your impulses to just eat to soothe yourself. You have to commit too. I mean, you have to make a decision that you're worth this trouble of doing anything, to get to a better place. And I believe that you should fight for your right to lose weight for good. You have to accept that it's going to be an ongoing battle, and the battle will never, ever end unless you change your mind about it. The only way that you will get to a place where it will feel natural to lose weight. And obviously, you don't want to lose weight forever. You want to get to your goal weight, and you want to keep it off, right? You want to lose weight for good, right? The only way that you will get to the place where it is not an ongoing battle is by changing your mind. That's the only way. You have to change your mind. You have to change your stories. You've got to heal your relationship with food. There's a lot to it, and you can't have it instantly. There is no instant fix for this. And, just look at how many years have you been struggling with your eating and your weight? I've been coaching since 2009, coaching clients who I've coached since then. They started struggling in childhood. Just like me, I started struggling in childhood too. And I was not even overweight. I was not fat. I was a skinny little kid. But I started thinking when I was only like 7 years old, I started thinking the thought, I am fat. And I wasn't. But that thought turned into overeating behaviors. Remember, the inner and the outer always match. So if you want to change your eating behaviors, you have to change your mind. You got to change your thinking. You have to get new thinking habits, not just new dieting habits. Although, you know what? You do need a diet, and you need a diet for your head. You need a diet for your thinking. You need a diet for your beliefs. If you want to get out of this battle, otherwise, fight, and just accept. You're just going to have to accept it, that it's going to be an ongoing fight. If you never change your mind to change your body, it's going to be an ongoing fight. But if you do want to change your mind so that you can easily change your body without a big struggle, then fight for yourself, fight for your belief in yourself that you are worth fixing the real problem. And the real problem is how you think about all of this. That's the real problem. So then instead of fighting against your emotional eating urges, your sugar addiction urges, your late night binge eating urges, instead of having a fight in that direction, turn that energy and that fight towards, hey, I'm going to fight for myself, that I am worth getting help. If you want help. I mean, if it makes sense to you that you're not going to be able to get yourself out of this pickle on your own, especially if you want to get out of it as fast as possible. Now, you can't get out of it instantly, but when you look at how many years you have been struggling with this problem, and it's not hard to figure out, what is your current age? How old were you when you first started having any problem in this area? Subtract the two. What's the number you get? 30 years? 40 years? 28 years? How many years have you been struggling with this problem? So when you contrast that with, hey, I could get into the struggle-free zone, maybe I'd want to do that. What are you willing to do to get this problem fixed? How important is it to you? How important is your peace of mind to you? How important is your daily life to you? Because what is it like to live with this constant battle with food? This constant battle because you want to lose weight and you're not able to control your eating. What does that do to your relationships? What does that do to your marriage? What does that do to your work life? How does it impact your productivity? Is it worth it to you to get this healed? If it is, and if you want help to do it, if you want the fastest path out, and if you really want to turn your energy of fight, instead of putting all that fight into the endless battle that'll never end unless you change your mind, instead of putting all that fight into fighting against the food and fighting against your urges, take that energy and put that fight into fighting for your commitment to yourself, that you are worth the effort to heal this problem, that you are worth a little bit of time to take the journey to change your mind so that you can change your body. Put that energy of fight in that direction. And if that is where you're at, and if you want help to do this, I have a first step for you. It's a complimentary weight loss discovery session that we do over the phone. But because it is complimentary, you have to fill out an application for it. You can't just get it. I hope that sounds reasonable because let's face it, we just don't have unlimited time, do we? So if you really are serious about healing the root of your out-of-control eating, if you really are serious about fighting for yourself, fighting for your commitment to live your best life in your best body, and if it makes sense that you're going to have to change your mind in order to do this, because that's where all of these problems start. That's where it all starts. If you want help to do this, you want to get it done as quickly as possible, go to www.discovery-session.com. www.discovery-session.com. Enter your first name and email and then complete the application so that you can get in the queue, get in the lineup to possibly get a complimentary weight loss discovery session with me. You have to fill out that application though. Make sure that you're completely honest. That's your best chance at getting one of these sessions with me. And you know what? Even if we don't work together, just having this session will help you in so many ways to really get honest with yourself and reconnect with your inner self, reconnect with your own vision for yourself, your own dream for yourself. When you lose that connection, it's just so easy to keep putting off making change and keep gaining weight and then like I was talking about earlier, the further you get from your normal weight, the further you get from your healthiest weight, the easier it is to give up on all of this. And oh boy, what kind of life is that, right? So if you want the help, if you want to get going, if you want to feel great again, if you want to look your best in your jeans, if it makes sense to you that you've got to change your mind, if you want to have long-term success with changing your body, go to www.discovery-session.com. Get started there. In the meantime, continue to fight for your right to lose weight for good. And you know who you're fighting against. I don't think I mentioned this. You know who the whole fight is against? It's a war between you and you. It's only between you and you. There's nothing out there that is trying to stop you. Now, it might look like there are some who are trying to stop you, because you might even have people in your life who try to stop you. They might even appear to be friends, and they, let's say that you start getting some weight off and they say, oh, wow, you're looking kind of skinny, and you still have 60 pounds to go. There are people out there who don't want to see you succeed, because then that makes them have to look at themselves and see what they're not doing for themselves. And they get too uncomfortable, so they'd rather that you stop. So that can be a fight too. But really, the main fight is with you. And if those kinds of situations bring up guilt in you, or pity for these other people who aren't taking action for themselves, if you don't address that and handle that within yourself so that you can feel good about continuing on your journey without any guilt, without any fear of what other people think, then that can really sabotage you right there. So there's several things that you really need to address. They're all within you, which is great, because that's what you have the control to change. And if you're willing to do that and release those internal blocks that are in your way right now, that all start with how you're thinking, then you can really set yourself free. You really can. Remember, start at www.discovery-session.com. I'm JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the Inner Self Diet, the diet that matches you up on the inside with what you want on the outside, so that you no longer have to battle and fight your emotional eating urges, your binge eating urges, your inner self saboteur. You don't have to fight in that direction anymore. You do want to make sure that you fight for your right and your belief in yourself, that you are worth the time and the effort to make the changes that you need to make. I wish you your best life living inside of your ideal body.